It's Friday, October 31st, 2014, and let's talk about what happened this week over at xdadevelopers.com. First up, an interesting device update. The Samsung Wave and Wave 2 received functional ports of OmniROM this week, thanks to XDA-recognized developer Volk204. There are a few relatively minor issues that really shouldn't affect normal day-to-day usability, but considering these devices came with a completely different OS and they were completely abandoned by Samsung a while back, it is amazing to see that there are people still supporting it and supporting it with a different OS on it. So if you've still got one of these devices, definitely go check out his forum thread for all the info. Moving right along though, this week XDA-recognized developer Champion Swimmer ported the new Cyanogen Recovery to the 2012 line of Sony Xperia devices. It said it might also work on the 2013 and 2014 lines, so if you've got one of these newer Xperia devices and you want to try out a new, different recovery on it, make sure you read through that thread and see if your device is reported. Also remember, your device has to have a recovery partition that's capable of being used with fast boot, and your device has to be unlocked. And now, moving in a bit of a different direction. Google, of course, recently announced the Nexus Player along with Android Lollipop, but unfortunately, a lot of the apps and games that are coming out are not going to work on Nexus Player and Android TV devices specifically, at least not out of the box, because Google added a requirement that apps have to specifically say, "We are Android TV compatible," before they will be able to be installed. Chainfire, though, he came to the rescue, as usual. He wrote a new launcher for Android TV that you can use to sideload applications that don't have that Android TV declaration in their stuff. With that said, it cannot be guaranteed that every single app's gonna work with it, but as you know, there are very few guarantees in life. So if you're looking at the Nexus Player, or if you have the ADT1 from Google I/O, if you have any sort of Android TV device with the newest Android TV, let's just assume that there's gonna be more in the future, right? You might want to check out his new launcher. Speaking of Lollipop though, this week some of the high-ranking muckety-mucks from Google sat down with the guys at Ars Technica to reveal some more details about the upcoming Lollipop release. They talked about several items that are being unbundled from the default Android distribution like WebViewer, and that they're being moved into the Play Store, as well as some of the ways they're going to address some of the issues they've been having with carrier-specific updates. This is all great because it means you're going to see more app and security updates more regularly without having to wait for an entire OS upgrade, but it does mean having more code taken out of the main AOSP tree. If they end up releasing the source code for these unbundled apps after they've been updated, that's great, but there are no guarantees again. They did go on to talk about the Nexus 6 and how it has a more premium price tag on it, so if you want to read more on the thought process they had behind that, and also about the items that are being unbundled from Android, check out the article on the portal. Now, a couple of new devices were announced this week. Specifically, Motorola announced the Droid Turbo, which is coming out on Verizon, and it's basically like the Moto X, but better in a lot of ways. Microsoft announced a new fitness tracker they're calling Mircosoft Band. The really interesting thing about that is, unlike Android Wear devices or the iWatch, it's actually supposed to work with Windows Phone, iPhone, and Android. Comes in at $199, so it's definitely competitive with all the current smartwatches on the market, so I'm really interested to see what this thing's all about. Also this week, Oppo announced the R5, which is a ridiculously thin phone, and the N3, which has got a motorized swiveling camera like the N1, but motorized. And Xiaomi announced the Redmi Note. The forums for these last three devices have also been added on XDA, so if any of those sound interesting to you, links can be found in the portal post. And as usual, 3 other videos were posted to XDA TV this week, and also one was posted to the XDA Roundtable channel. TK did another Exposed Tuesday talking about automatic device unlocking with no lock home. Root Jockey showed us how to unlock, root, and restore the Moto 360. TK showed how to sync music and play it back on your Android Wear device. Then Kevin Bruckert's presentation from the Big Android Barbecue about UX design was uploaded to the Roundtable channel. But you know what? That's going to be about all from me for today. You can find the links to all the stories I talked about down in the video description as usual, as well as the links to my YouTube channels if you're interested in that sort of thing. Remember, if you like this video, leave us a like down below the video and subscribe to receive all of our content as soon as it becomes available. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.